This is a draft intro awareness video on solar. And this series is what is a PV ground mount? It's part of the uh, Clean Energy Group awareness videos of what is solar. And so here we got a ground mount. Have you noticed the structure? Usually is aluminum. Um, This is a single panel, and now the spec 500-watt panels. 430 is a typical 430 watts of power. Is a very typical one for a solar panel. And this is one type of ground mount, which is you can see in PEI. And then there's a raised ground mount, which is a bit higher. Just match it to this background scene. And that particular ground mount could have 16 panels on it. So 16 of these little mounts, and they can be what's called pole mounted in one pole. You see in the center here to represent a 16 array of solar panels. And in this case, it'd probably be a sideways because of the orientation, and always facing south. So solar, would be where you get all your energy. There are three types of solar. There's 12-volt panels. There's 24-volt panels, and now 48-volt panels. Those are typical solar. 12-volt is not as common. 24 volts more common now. We're going to 48-volt. There's even 48-volt batteries, single battery cells that are out there now, and so that's your next magic is what batteries do I use if you're going off grid? Because this is the question. What is a solar off grid mount? It's not that you can't couple to the grid, but for our first series of videos, we're looking at off grid ground mounts. Okay, and so this is a ground mount here, and then you can have your own single ground mount on a support system with the structure that's not on a monopole, it's on a backyard. And usually these are in large farms and sometimes in the megawatts. Then you have the battery. So this here's a little charger. It's going to bring in some smart ARP shades just to show you here. So this here is the charger in blue. Okay. So that charger, just maybe format the shape a bit and give it some transparency. Is going to charge an EV vehicle. Now they have EV vans, GM. It requires about 240 volts to run. Okay, so just some basics is how do you get the 48 volt to the 240 volts? I'll use what's called an inverter. Okay, and so I'm just going to outline that. So you've got to find a way. And that's volts AC, okay, because that's what companies manufacture. There's two manufacturers of EV charging stations. So this is your EV station, okay. This is what's going to power the electric vehicles. So the EV charger can run 256 volt, and there's many level chargers. So if we look at levels, okay, there's a level 1, there's a level 2, and level 3. Level 3 right now is pretty much off limits. It's pretty expensive. You can charge in 8 to 15 minutes, but level 2 is probably the common one right now. You can get what's called a single phase 240 alternative current, AC current running. So how many batteries do you need? Well, it depends how many charges you do a day. If you're going to do half hour, 1 hour charges 24/7, you could probably get maybe 20 to 24. But how many charges is the charges? And we can build the enclosure, the aluminum framing, the for the systems, but ultimately, um, you know, what is the question is what is a solar PV EV electric vehicle off grid mount? And hopefully it's not too technical, this one, just a draft 5-minute video. Thank you.